What is up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well today. I'm here today with a very special guest speaker for Friday feature. We've got G Money, Giedrius Background, the man, the guy, the bomb, POD Hall of Famer. G, how are you doing today, man? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Alex. I'm doing great. It's a nice Friday morning. It's a fantastic weather outside. Can we actually mixed up my days. Today was a motorcycle test day for Moto Guzzi. So I woke up so excited. I'm gonna go ride some motorcycles, and then I'm like, oh no, it's tomorrow. So, I got pumped with that excitement. I'm gonna carry on all the way for like the next 24 hours.
Yeah, you're ready. You're just ready for the motorcycling for the next 24 hours, ready for the weekend. Awesome, man. I love it. So guys, for anyone that's watching that doesn't know who G is part of the POD family, Prospecting on Demand family. He's been a part of our family, for about 3-4 months now, I'd say, somewhere around that. G is a POD Hall of Famer. He really epitomizes what we're trying to accomplish here in Prospecting on Demand, creating a community of people that want to help each other grow and obviously learn methods and tips that are going to help your business, achieve goals that you never really thought. G is someone that inspires me. His passion for his business and for helping people is top notch. It's almost unmatched. I'm sure he's going to resonate with you guys a lot during this conversation. If you have any questions or you're watching right now, give us the like, give us the love. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're on replay, throw it in there. Let us know you're watching on replay. You can throw in an R for replay. If you know G, give him a G money sign. That's what I like. So feel free to do that. But other than that, guys, any questions or comments at all, feel free to post them in here. We're going to be chatting and hopefully sharing some great value with you. So with that being said, G, can you kind of introduce yourself to everyone? Let us know kind of what you do and what you're about.
Yeah, well, thanks for a great introduction, Alex. I'm getting blushed. I'm like, I don't feel worthy for so many great words sometimes, but that feel of unworthiness kind of is lingering in all of us. Started my entrepreneurial route of marketing a few months ago. I think it's about 3 or 4 months ago, and really went through a lot of common challenges that a lot of people in our world, those kind of a beginners face, and really learned a lot over the last few months. And one of those people that if I focus on, I start doing something, like there's nothing else that exists in my life. It's like tunnel vision, and I read everything that's possible. I join multiple masterminds courses to really try to understand that world, that paradigm, because all of these, it's like these parallel realities exist in everyone's world, in everyone's minds, and trying to enter this new world. So before that, it wasn't my first attempt at entrepreneurship. Before I was certified as high performance coach in one of this guy called Brendan Burchard program. I've tried dabble with coaching. I've really learned that I love helping people. That was one of my insights. But the challenge I've had was that a lot of people that I was attracting wasn't really the people that I loved working with. And I realized over that time that I really love working with entrepreneurs. And then I said to myself, well, what's the best way to attract a lot of entrepreneurs? Well, it's to help them. And then I thought, the marketing agency would be a great match for me, because I know I've been in sales and marketing for most of my life. Since I came to United States, I worked in insurance sales and real estate sales, in logistics sales. And then I joined a tech company where we did software sales and marketing for a few years. And then it was just like, it's sales, and it fit my personality so well because I'm outgoing. People kind of feel good with me because I'm not one of those people that just like this negative or something like that. So it fit me to just jump on calls and have that kind of a hunter's mentality, where it's like, okay, let's go, let's move. And this one guy I recently found out on Facebook, Alex Sharfin, I think he talks about entrepreneurial personality type. And I was like, wow, that's so fitting because I see there's so many people like me, like you, on these prospecting powerhouses or other groups, like the sales gorilla groups, right, that of our buddy Landon. So there's so many similar people there. And I was just like, wow, it feels so good part of this world, because a lot of times they think, well, what happens to us, at least what happened to me was when I started just trying to figure out things by myself. I felt like I was quite isolated. I wasn't sure like if the mistakes I'm doing were like, just if it's just me or if everybody else is going through that kind of stuff. And then slowly but surely joined some groups, started with Entrepreneurial Alliance, that got into Dan Henry's group, then got into your group, Prospecting on Demand, which is really like the amount of content that you share is freaking fantastic. And I love seeing that it's growing. And I love that you have this Prospecting Powerhouses group, which is free right now for people to join. And, there's so much value. So, just thank you for teaching all those skills. And
I appreciate that.
Because there's so many, and I'm just freaking excited to see how we're changing the whole paradigm of how the marketing was done. We're changing the paradigm of how the work is done. We're able to now open these little agencies, and a lot of people are not even they don't even think about it being like $1 million, $2 million agency. Most people that are here just want to make a freaking living on their own terms. Like they just want to make enough money to just live simply, have a car, have family, have their freaking time, and not have a soul-sucking job which drains their minds, drains their souls. And instead of building some asshole's dreams, we're now able to build our dreams. And
who out there is building your dreams? If you're building your dreams, let us know in the comments below. I know we got Manny and Eddie watching. What's up, guys? Everyone in Powerhouses.
Which group are we on?
We're on all of them, bro. We're on Powerhouses. We're on POD. We're on the page. Wherever you're watching from, let us know in the comments. We're happy to have you guys. We're all over the place. We are carpet bombing the crap out of you guys, and we appreciate you all showing up here today. And
I see that. That's awesome.
Major value up in this place. So, G, I want to ask you something that I think is super intriguing in your story. When we first kind of, connected with each other, your mindset was like super focused right now on like trying to create opportunities for yourself. And then you got a little overwhelmed with so much that you've done. Since then, you've really honed in on what you're best at, what you can focus on, and what you can really capitalize on. I know there's so many people I speak to, G, probably every day, whether you're in Powerhouses or even in POD already, where they're still trying to figure out kind of what their one track mind is. How did you kind of take all this, where this is kind of my mindset here, all this crap, right? This is where our brains are everywhere. How do you kind of get the tunnel vision and focus? How did you figure out what's going to work for you and now find some success moving forward?
Yeah, man, it's like you said, probably going to share this. Let's share this personal story. I think a lot of people may relate. Remember when I asked you for a refund on your program?
Yep.
That was some freaking, so just a little pre-frame for people that don't know, who have joined Alex's program because I've kind of learned a little bit about Facebook ad strategies. I've tried to do in the beginning that kind of Dan Henry's curious student kind of stuff, wasn't really taking me anywhere. And Alex reached out to me through Entrepreneurial Alliance, and I've seen his face over and over again because he was helping people out. So it's a good also hint, like, when we see people over and over again and they become relevant, they start becoming our world. We start thinking that person is everywhere. So that's why it's great to start, growing your business and giving the value.
Putting yourself out there, man. Putting yourself out there.
And then he reached out to me very, very nicely in a friendly way. And unlike what most people do, when I see, I get these messages, and probably many of you get, it's like, hey man, join my group. I'm gonna, buy my product. And I'm like, dude, do you even know what I'm doing? I'm like, it's like, this guy reached out to me. I teach how to sell real estate. I'm like, why? Like, don't you have?
I'm not even interested.
Right. So off that tangent, so join the POD, and it was a great program. It was a lot of content. And I'm one of those, again, people that I'm like, okay, we'll try everything out. Try multiple niches, try multiple, let's see what works for me. And I got overwhelmed. I got freaking tired because it was, and I got into this week, and, I think in life, there's that graph entrepreneurial journey where sometimes, we go up and it's exciting, but sometimes we eat so much shit. We're just like, what am I doing? It becomes so freaking hard. And I know that so many people go through that. It's just, we don't talk about this a lot. And that was my very hard week. And nothing was working, like some clients canceled. I remember I was feeling like complete utter shit, like nothing's working. And I'm like, fucking Alex. I hope it's okay to swear in this group. I'm like,
we're good.
It's his group is not working. I paid like $1,000 for this. I was supposed to be $1 million overnight. It's not working. So wrote him this email, which it came from this place of really kind of blame. I didn't really want to sound rude, but I just wanted to explain myself. I want the money back, and he replied to me that it was a little bit of a miscommunication because it's just hard to explain ourselves through email. And then just a couple days later, I was just like, damn, like Alex is not to blame here. I'm just like, so I apologized. We got on a good level. He's a cool guy. Just everybody who worked with Alex or who is in the group, he knows that like there's a passion in you to really helping people, and that can be felt. And especially after that little bit, because we have a lot of energy, both of us. So like two Rams can be a little bit like some little friction sometimes. But after that, I'm like, damn, like. So let's figure out what was my mistake. So like I came back to my what I used to do in the high performance coaching, I had that model that I used to like walk people through. And I said, wow, I need to go myself through that. So like, let's become aware of what's happening in my life, what's working, what's not. And it was literally that lack of freaking focus on something. I thought I was focusing on like growth, but I was doing so many things every day, trying a different niche. Every day I would see like somebody mentions different strategy and approach. I would start doing every day, like, okay, what's the best cold email template? What's the best safe to say things? But the main underlying kind of a thing was missing from that whole. And that's what really like a lot of logically we want to go through these like programs like yours, like very quickly. Okay, what's my niche? Okay, I'm gonna pick this on Tuesday. I'm gonna try this. So I was trying a dentist, and I was trying chiropractors. I was trying like other like bunch of different stuff, and really nothing was really working for me. Like it was. I mean, I got some gym clients. I got a gym which is still with me, and I got amazing results. But I've also failed so many times because I made a very critical mistake where I was so focused on getting that new client and getting that 10K agency, 10K, everybody's 10K, I'm not 10K, that I wasn't focusing on delivering results for the clients that I've had at that time.
Guys, listen to what he just said. What did he just say?
$1,500 a month clients, because I was like, okay, I have these guys, they're already in my pocket. And instead of really now honing down, because I was a freaking 4-month marketing piece of shit, like many of you. And if we think that we know because we read, where's my like cold.com secrets book, wherever. Everybody, like, we read this book and we feel like this shit. We read expert secrets, we know everything. Yes, we know a little bit more than everybody else, but taking that knowledge and now integrating what we know to really get results to somebody, where that person will really like come and hugging us and will invite us to their child's birthday parties, that should be a striving point. But I missed that. See, I missed that because I was so focused on wanting to like grow big and all that. So what changed for me was, and what I did is what I always, okay, something's not working, so let's figure out something else. So I joined some more programs just to find out that everything that I needed was already there. And like the framework is really simple in this essence. It's just that whenever we find ourselves challenged, we think that something's missing instead of really literally honing down on those essential things, being aware of where we like being aware of what we have and like what our capabilities are, choosing freaking direction. Like that's so important, choosing direction where okay, what am I gonna pursue? What do I want to be like? Okay, maybe dentist, like for the next month. How am I gonna, instead of trying 30 different approaches, Facebook, this, honing down on one to really perfect it and master it and understand it. Being freaking resilient in our approach, where if something fails or if we get an email that says, call, be like, don't freaking go in the corner and whine about it, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, maybe it's not working out for me. Like I got this one very rude email. I'm like, maybe I'm a bad person, but then I'm like, wake the freaking up. There's like 10 people that are saying, hey, talk to me. And there's one asshole that says, freaking go away. And I'm like, wait, how, like, I needed to get back into my mindset, right? Just like, whew, like my mind was all over the place because I'm so passionate. And sometimes that passion brings out the ADD in me and I get all over the place and I forget to really focus. And then really, so that's what I've started doing. And instead of going all over the place, I really realized that, okay, there's a lot of niches to choose from. There's a lot of marketers attacking very popular niches. Like I'm in Dan Henry's group, there's 1,500 people there, 1,500 paid people. So you made over 1.5 million, but that's not the point. The point is that he teaches most people, to go over like dentists and chiros, right? So 1,500 people reaching out to 10 people, to 10 chiropractors a day is 15,000 chiropractors get reached out a day. Over 10 days, it's 150,000 chiropractors. I don't think there's more than, a million chiropractors in this country, maybe not even more than 100,000. And so I was like, okay, I need to be better. I need to stand out. I cannot be like in this freaking red ocean and blue ocean, red ocean strategy. If you never read it, it's a key to really understanding how to position yourself outside of what everybody is finding in. And when a lot of people say, oh, I'm this great marketer offering marketing services to everybody, you are in the red ocean. And that's what I was like. I tried the LinkedIn prospecting method, but I failed miserably because I was like, I'm a marketer helping everybody with marketing. Marketing. Do you need marketing? Nobody freaking, first of all, wants marketing. Everybody wants results. And it's so hard to write a compelling message to that person that you really can get
catch all. You can't write a compelling catch all.
If you're saying, hey, I can get you leads. Well, doctors want patients, realtors want seller leads. If you don't know the language that they speak, if you don't really understand, then you become just another pain in the ass, because we have to remember marketing has existed since those, like, what's that TV show on where people are humping women and
Mad Men.
Batman, not Batman, Bad Men.
Mad Men, yeah.
So Madman, right? So like it's existed, and there was people like us attacking all these different niches for years. So how do we stand out? I spoke with some amazing people that I've met over this my hustling times, and I'm like, I met this one guy who recently sold his marketing agency that he was working with dentists. He built it over the last 6 or 8 years. And it was like over 100K a month. Like they had 50 dental offices all over the country, and that was their sole focus. And basically, we came back to the same conclusion that Alex has taught us the same thing in one of those first classes, choosing a niche. But a lot of people don't realize the importance of choosing a niche. It's not just what will you attack today, who will you hunt, but it's like literally. Like when we go in a hunt, back in the day, if I'm going for a hunt for a mammoth, I'm not gonna bring a fishing hook.
Nope.
I'm not gonna bring because I won't, probably gonna bring a spear and something else. And then when I go to my buddies, or like to say, hey, let's go hunt a mammoth, I will be able to influence them why we're so good, because we have spears. And the same with our clients. When we came up, I was like, what's so special about you? Like I get 50 of these messages. And what's your answer? Oh, because I'm results focused. That really, like, no, everybody else is not results focused. Everybody's butterfly. Of course, everyone's results focused. So that's not a differentiator. Differentiator, I think, what I've learned is that when we have a beautifully selected niche that aligns with what we care about. So maybe if you're really into wellness, you can go and pursue after, for example, nutritionists. And you're like, hey, man, I'm in a nutrition. You're in a nutrition. I help with nutritional marketing. Maybe we can do this and this. This is, you start doing the language instead of like, hey, what do you think would be a good landing page for your clients? No,
exactly.
Like, I've gone through nutritional challenges, and this is what I've had challenges, and maybe we can put this together in this video. Maybe you can answer some questions. And with any other kind of a niche, this would work the same. So what I found was, I came back to my background in tech. I'm a fucking nerd. I was building websites after I left diapers. I started my building website when I was 12, and I left diapers way after, but it doesn't matter. Just how they go. But fact is that that's what I was doing for most of my life. I graduated college with information system security degree. That's basically saying I'm a cyber cop. Like I was literally I was trained to catch bad guys like anonymous on the internet. Then I went to a software company, and for 4 years we've hustled to launch a software B2B software product, B2B software product in like crowded space with a very low budget, bootstrapping the shit of everything. 2 people in the office pretending to be a $1 million company. And I was like, now, like a month later, when I was trying to pick a niche, I'm like, damn, I know so much. I know so many people. Like, who are the people in my network? That's why nobody was responding to my curious student thing for like Cairo ads, because I don't have a single Cairo in my background. And that's why for other people, you see results is like, hey, yeah, did curious student post, and like I got 10 different clients. Well, maybe he was a tax guy before who was doing a tax guy for other small business like J.R. Rivas, right? He has a great results, but his story is not our story. You cannot do the same thing and get the same results because our backgrounds are different. He had 40 business clients doing taxes way before. We have to find our own methods, our own audience, our own people that we are here to serve. Like when we start really, like, I think this entrepreneurial desire in us is really, we're answering this calling within our soul to really start like helping somebody and really figure out who are we here to help. Because in this world, we're like little ants. One ant produces ants, the other ant protects ants, the other ant brings food for ants. So in this world, we're all commingling, and we are here to really start helping business people, or other people get more business. That's our skill, right? So I decided to focus on tech companies. And I decided to go back to LinkedIn, which wasn't working, and really like understand what wasn't working. Well, first of all, my message was very vague. So I positioned myself very clearly. I help tech and IT companies get leads and clients and RFPs. RFPs, you have no idea probably what it is, but they know that's the language they use. And that's the word I've learned, because after I spoke 20 times with them, they started using this word. I went on Google, checked it out. And now it's like, when they see this message, they know what I'm talking. They know that I'm part of their world, and that's what that niche. Again, going back to the niche positioning is. It's not just really understanding with that client avatar worksheet that everybody skips very quickly. Oh, what's their challenge? Well, they just want clients. But like, what is the real challenge? For example, tech companies, they want clients, but their challenge is that usually they go out, seek for clients, go networking, do something. They find a single client, they work on that project is done, they need another project. So they're in the feast and famine cycle, which for example, dentist doesn't have. Dentist doesn't have to go out, find dental patients, fix teeth, and then go out. For a dentist, it's a little bit different. So there's a different language pattern they can use. So and then when I've really focused on LinkedIn, I found so many tools, like way that even beyond what there is in a prospecting on demand, and I'm still testing them out, and I'll be sharing with you guys what I found, because these are like pimp ass tools that automates the crap out of everything, that really makes our lives much easier for a very small amount of money comparatively. But I found these tools because I focused on one specific product. So I focused on one niche and on one approach, rather than doing 200 approaches every single day, trying to see what works and failing at everybody, because it's hard to track, hard to see what works, hard to see what messages resonate. Because remember, people on LinkedIn are different than people on Facebook. The same dentist on LinkedIn, he is different kind of dentist than the dentist who doesn't have LinkedIn and only has Facebook. So the message, the presentation, everything will differ. And even the same dentist, maybe if I approach him, he won't like me. Maybe because of anything, he'll find, oh, I don't like white guys. Maybe I like working with Indian guys only, or like with these. Like, it's just, there's so many factors in every one of us. There's so many people that just wouldn't be able to stand my personality. There's so many people that I couldn't stand their soul personalities, right? But when I started focusing on that one niche, when I started focusing on one method, in 4 days, 4 weeks, reached out to a lot of people, but I posted recently like this like screenshot that I wanted to share, with like my results I've got. Every single day, I have 2, 3, or 4 calls with potential clients. I woke up this morning, I have 3 calls scheduled for next week.
Anyone watching right now that doesn't have any calls, that's not getting book calls right now, let us know what your life would be like if it changed, if you were getting 3 or 4 calls a day. And all that it takes is listening to everything Giedrius just said before getting to this point. Everything about niching, everything about specializing, about taking the one-track mindset, about bringing all this crap that's all over here and start getting some tunnel vision. Think about what he's saying. So continue. You're getting 3 to 4 consultations a day, and many that's coming up in next week as well.
Yeah. And so I'm getting these consultations. And again, I don't want to say like, I'm not pretending to be this guru or like I'm not a 100,000K agency. I'm just saying I've started doing this very recently. I sucked so bad. I was blaming everybody. It was very hard. I literally was like, what am I doing? I should go back to like, I was literally asking my girlfriend, like, maybe was a stupid, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should do it. And she was just like, just focus, motherfucker. Like, keep telling you to focus. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, let's focus. And then I found the focus. So like, when I really focus on that strategy right now, there's multiple calls, there's like lots of emails. And now I'm actually, so in 4 weeks, basically, I've had 200 conversations. 200 conversations, of them, maybe around 20 became conversations on LinkedIn. Then I've had about 20 phone calls, of which now 2 or 3 are extended into next week, like more of a closing strategy calls.
Yep.
But I've learned so freaking much about the industry, about the client, what to say, how to say. I got so much confidence, because you know what? Yeah, yes, I didn't close a lot of, like, I didn't close sales basically in this period, but I found a method that really starts bringing in the leads, and I can practice myself on the sales calls. Because if we just watch or read Alex's sales script, it doesn't mean that we know how to sell.
Of course.
It doesn't mean shit. We have to, like, I have this buddy, Alex Moscow. He's a fantastic coach. He coaches on how to sell. He had 1,900 sales calls before he went on his own. He did for somebody else. He worked in Ted McGrath's coaching business, and he did 1,900 sales calls before he felt like he's good at sales. And I realized, like, it's my ego that wants like to do this, like, oh, I want to be, everybody's getting rich, I should be rich, I can do this. And yes, I can do this. And you can do this. And everybody else in the group can do this.
100%.
But we have to fucking show that we can do this. We have to show up every single day and go through those actions and be resilient. For one person, he'll reach out to people and he'll close it next day. That's his karma. That's what he went through in his life to reach that state where he can do that. In my case, maybe I'll have to suck on this for another few months before I close. Maybe I'll have to do this for another week. I don't know. But it's like, if I start right now, before I was getting 0 calls, 0 results. I was like, what is freaking happening? I'm doing everything that everybody is teaching. So I'm still getting 0 results. And now I have lack of time responding to everyone's emails or messages, getting into conversations. And it's like that momentum. That's what we seek for. It's not the money. It's that momentum, that growth. That's something that
something's working.
We're getting better. Something is working. Something is like that creates that feeds our soul, that feeds our energy levels, that feeds our curiosity to learn more, that feeds our confidence to show up on the calls differently, show up better, because we know what we said. We can listen, record the calls, and I'm like, oh my God, that was such a stupid thing to say. From now on, I'll say it this way. Right now, I'm going to show up this way, and we grow, and we grow, and we expand our potential. We expand who we are. We expand that essence until one moment we become that person, that 10K agency, 100K agency, what we want to be. But that process that hero's journey has to be walked.
100%.
And a lot of people these days, including myself, want to be like millionaire overnight. We're all looking for this strategy that will, what 3 buttons do I click? What email template do I send to be millionaire? Okay, Alex.
No such thing.
If I fill out avatar sheet, if I fill out this sheet, I will be a millionaire, right? No.
It's all about taking action, like G is saying. It's all about taking action, understanding who you are, what your value is, understanding what you need to do every day to get to the right steps. Rather than trying to do everything, have a one-track mindset of trying to get something done consistently every day. How many of you can do what G just said? How many of you can tell me right now in the last 3 weeks how many calls you've had? How many could tell me how many messages you've had back and forth on LinkedIn conversations? How many new connections you've had? He's tracking the information so that he can get better at it. He's recording his sales calls so he can get better at it. The more experience you have, it's the best teacher. Now, you purchase courses, you buy into coaching, you commute or have a community with people that are a little higher up than you so that you can cut the learning curve, that you can make it a little bit easier to achieve your goals. But no matter what, experience is always going to be your best teacher. Are you in a red ocean or are you in a blue ocean? Are you taking advantage of what your skill sets are? Or are you just going after money? What are you actually doing in your business right now that's growing? Too many people are stuck in a holding pattern because you're trying to accomplish everything or you're refusing to take the journey. You're just thinking I can get to the finish line immediately. No one gets that opportunity. No one. No one gets it. It will never happen. You don't just get plucked out from nowhere and thrown into a millionaires club. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the work. And when you care and when you want to make a difference, people resonate with that. That's why POD is successful. That's why G and I could work together. That's why G went from someone that wanted a refund to someone that I consider a prospecting on demand Hall of Famer, because it's not just methods. It's not just strategies. It's how do we help someone's mindset shift from being, I have to be where all my competition is, to just focusing on yourself, to making yourself better. If you're focusing on your competition at any time in your business, you're not focusing in the right mindset. You have to focus on what you can control. You have to focus on your locus of control. You guys want to know where I learned that from the first time in my life? I'm a psychology major from school. I'm in love with the brain. I think it's incredible. Brain's physiology and psychology is amazing to me. I think it's fascinating how we work. Now, when I was younger, I'm still am a big sports fan, but when I was younger, I'd get overly frustrated or happy in a weird emotional state watching sports. Now, I shouldn't allow something that does not control anything of that I have no control over to control my emotions that way. So I wanted to learn on how to stop allowing myself to be controlled by sports, right? That's silly. Why should I be controlled by that? Why should my emotions be controlled by that? What did I do? Well, I read about the locus of control and how you can only and should only focus on what you have control over. I can't control what G does. G cannot control what I do. We can both control what we do, as in what I can do myself. If I'm looking at what Dan Henry's done, or I'm looking at J.R. Rebus or anyone else in the business, and I'm thinking, why am I not where they're at? I'm missing the point. I'm missing the point. You're not getting to focus on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're always counting other people's pockets, you'll never be grateful for where you're at. You'll never be satisfied with where you're at. And you're going to die unhappy, because that's the reality of it all, right? None of us are immortal. None of us know when it's done, right? G and I have been in POD together. He's been long enough. One of our family members passed away randomly out of nowhere. None of us knew this was going to happen. Just like that, the dude was such a hustler, and RIP to Matt Bavell. What a great guy. He was such a hustler. He was working every single day trying to provide for him and his family. And
the last moment.
To the last second. He literally emailed me the day before. The day before, he emailed me about an affiliate offer for Prospecting on Demand to try to increase his revenue, increase his opportunities. The last day, without knowing anything. Now, if you don't know when your last day is, and you're focused on what someone else's pockets are doing, are you not thinking about how grateful you are to have food in your fridge, to have a roof over your head, to have a computer to work on, to have opportunities in the first place? You're missing out then. And that's really, really important. You cannot focus on what else your competition is doing. Focus on getting better yourself. Focus on helping your clients, right? G said something earlier that's so important. I get this all the time. How do you do retention versus like new clients? Retention is 10 times more important than getting on new clients. Why? It's simple math. It's simple multiplication. If you bring on a client that's going to pay you $1,000 and you retain them for 6 months, that's $6,000. If you average your clients at 1 month, every single month, you're going to have to redo the same cycle. $1,000, lost the client. $1,000, lost the client.
Referrals and then expertise in working with that one client, ability to position yourself. Like I've realized how much I could have, like, it was a real estate client. I could have easily gone into really understanding everything that is possible and went that route. I've tried, I mean, with that client, I did my best, but I also did insurance client, and I was like, okay, wasn't really, I could have done more. I know I've done 60% of what I could have done, and that 40% would have been like the make or break kind of in that situation. And that is exactly, that's so important. And it's just like a lot of people miss, and I just wanted to share, you know, just like what I've learned. So maybe a lot of you guys won't have to, who's watching, you know, won't have to go through similar things, because it's you know, as long as we learn from each other, it makes the journey so much easier.
So much easier. You learn from people's experience, right? It's like if you're climbing, I use this one all the time. If you're climbing Mount Everest and the person that's a couple rungs ahead of you says, if you go left, you will fall, but if you go right, you'll be good. Are you going to go left? Only a fool would go left, because you know you're going to fall. The guy just told you. He's trying to teach you from his own experience. His own experience. Now, unfortunately, someone has to be the person to have that initial experience, the bad experience, right? But if you use that bad experience to then help the other people that could avoid that experience, you're doing something good. That's what parents do in your entire life, right? As you're growing up as a child, your parents or your older siblings or your older peers, they're there to show you, I've made this mistake. I've taken this route that went through this type of error. Don't do that. Now, does it mean they're always right? Of course not. Everyone's different. Like G just said, we all have different backgrounds and different things. And some people take that as a challenge. That's fine. But you just have to be logical about it, right? You don't take the challenge where G's not going to say, someone tells G, hey, don't drive 100 miles per hour on the highway because you might get into an accident and kill someone or die yourself. That doesn't mean G's going to be like, well, screw that guy. I'm a race car driver. I'm going to drive 100 miles per hour. No. You have to have the mindset. Now, if I came to G and I said, don't go after chiropractors. You have no chance. It's not worth your time. Well, G could take that as a challenge. He could say, you know what? I'm going to try it out, because there's no real loss if he goes after it, right? You have to be a loss analysis, right? So you got to focus in on how you are going to cut your learning curve by helping with other people's experience. But at the end of the day, you need your own experience. The journey is part of it. The journey that G is expressing to you is part of it. Part of the process is failing miserably, figuring out a method that works, and then getting to the point of closing and learning how to close appropriately. And he's right. A sales script is not going to save you. It's not going to do everything for you. It'll help you give you a format and an understanding of some questions, but you still got to understand your avatar. You got to understand your offer. You got to make sure that you're going to help these clients. And the best way to do that is something that G expresses so well. People are not dollars. People are not leads. Their people are not clients. They're people. They're people. Do you want to help someone? I want to help people. That's what I'm doing Prospect on Demand for. I have my own agency. We are doing very well there. I'm very blessed on that. I'm so thankful for it every day. But I'm here hustling on POD every day to help people grow. My business grows as well in comparison, or in fruition together, everyone together. In conjunction was the word. That is what I'm about. That's what I'm passionate about. G's passionate about helping small businesses. What are you passionate about? If it's just putting money in your back pocket, you're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. You're just focusing on what the end goal is. But you might not even hit the end goal, because none of the time that we're given at any point is guaranteed anyways. Who knows what happens today or tomorrow? Who knows? You just don't know. You don't know. So why are you out there so focused on that long-term goal without enjoying what you've got right now and what you're trying to accomplish right now? G, I'd love to hear from you. What advice would you give someone that's just starting out in the marketing world? Not necessarily, in purchasing courses or anything, but a mindset that you need to have to ensure your success long-term. Because like you said, a lot of people get started and they're looking at, competition, and they're thinking, I could do that right now. What would you say to someone that's kind of on that mind track? What would you tell them to do?
Exactly what I love what you said, not focusing as much about money, and money is very important, but when our focus is on money, then we show up differently than when our focus is to help people. And this is all about, we are helping people, and when we show up in these conversations where we can literally like try in our mind, instead of thinking, how can I make the most amount of money here, but think, how can I create the most amount of value for this person? It's a completely different conversation. And it's even differently, like you show up on a sales call, because now if you don't really, in the end, you want to get to a place where you don't want to work with asshole clients. You don't want to work with people. Sometimes I start a call with a person, and 5 minutes later, I want to just say no, because I don't even want to know where it goes. Yes, I don't have a lot of clients, but I'd rather not even deal with someone, because in my mindset is like, I want to find clients that I will be happy working with, that I will be happy to call, that they'll be happy to engage with me. And I have some clients like that, and that just gives such a nurturing to the soul, because now it's like, my God, I'm helping that guy. It's like he's happy, rather than like, oh, what did you do? It's not working. You know what I mean? It's very different. So just really understanding that for that person, the message, right, who's just getting started, definitely get a mentor, and not necessarily someone that's, we hear like these big mentors like Tony Robbins or Gary Vee, they're just throwing all these messages a lot of these times. But just like in your example of climbing the Mount Everest, if the guy is 2 steps ahead of you, he can tell you which step not to take. But if the guy is already at the top and he's yelling you something, you may think you know what he's telling, but you have no idea, because your consciousness is on such a different level. If you think about building a legacy where you don't even have money to buy cat food that's organic, how can you be possibly thinking about the legacy? You cannot even grasp that, because, on the pyramid of Maslow, you have to build some foundational blocks before you even reach that level where you can sit down on your throne and like, what kind of legacy? So really in the beginning, it's those simple action steps. And I think really becoming aware of where you're at, and where is your potential at? What people have you worked with in the past? What do you like? Do you really like working with dentists? Like really? Like, I've spoken with someone, I realized that's the stupidest niche to pursue it. Like, at least for me, I'm not that type of person. For other people who are like I've had so many dentists on LinkedIn that my feed started becoming just people with bleeding mouths. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I do not ever want to see this shit ever on my thread. So this is not my niche. So who is that niche? Who are the people who like you? Who naturally do you resonate with? If you're like, maybe you're very good at fitness, you love fitness, and you will be much better at fitness than somebody who just wants to make dollar of fitness people, right? Then finding that direction and really choosing that direction after you become aware of it, and setting like a pin for yourself, so that you really know where you're going. So like, my direction is that way, and don't have an expectation exactly how it will unfold, exactly what will happen, exactly when you'll get the client, exactly how much money you'll be making in 3 months. But like, I'm gonna go that way. In my case, I'm gonna pursue tech, and I'm gonna start learning as much as I can about tech, and I'm gonna prospect using LinkedIn for next 4 months. I'm gonna reach out to this many people. I'll see what kind of responses I get. I'll see what kind of messages. And then become fucking resilient. If something's not working, try a different message. If something, go back to your direction. My direction is that way, and if for 2 weeks I didn't get a single response, well, maybe my message is wrong. Schedule a message. Maybe it's different within a tech. For example, there's many within dentists. There's many different dentists. Some dentists are they do dentures, some are general, some do Invisalign. You have to understand that. With chiropractors, there's big offices, there's solopreneurs, there's traditional chiropractors, there's network chiropractors. I just know this because I go to chiropractors, and I know the world goes even deeper. But that's from an understanding. car repair shops. There's big, there's small. Like, there's so many things that we figure out and on our way. So continuously going with that direction, we'll gaining the knowledge, and then definitely the freaking effectiveness of our methods. After we become resilient, and even when the shit flies in our face, we just can wipe it out. We can go. If we fall, we can come up, wipe off the blood, and continue on going. If somebody shoots us on our way, we can still get back up, rip the bullet off. During last few months, I've had a massive cut on my head because I hit the garage door, which was poorly positioned, and I've had this massive cut on my head with a concussion. Everybody's like, stop working. I'm like, for a few days, okay, what do I need to do? I reached out to my doctor friends that I've had. Okay, how can I recover most effectively? Drank a lot of different supplements, everything. Boom, in a couple of weeks, I'm back in my flow, instead of oh my God, I just need to take a break. So it just continues, whatever freaking happens, and shit will happen, because the universe will always keep on testing us. It's in life, it'll always put just enough pressure so we can have something to live. Because if you go to a gym and you do some weight that doesn't pressure you, don't grow further. And this desire that we're after, it's not really at the end about money or dentist or anything. It's about growth. It's our inner desire to grow, become better, so we can serve our families and the world and everybody else. And as we go and as we become more clear, more directed, more resilient, when we become more effective in our approach, trying to find better software so we can save time, so we can leave more time on content production. Maybe we can instead of for me, that's a lot of tools, becoming more efficient in our every morning I spend an hour in meditation and stretching and really nurturing myself, because I know that it was during that bad week that I've had that I told you about before. I was so focused on doing everything, I abandoned myself. I would wake up, not even shower, like crazy here. I'm like, reach out, and nothing's working. I'm like in this stress state. I forget to even give the self love. Now I'm like, okay, relax, think about what's my direction, what do I need to do, what's happening. Okay, I'm back in my centered state. Let's proceed, right? And then for me, it's the figure after you really become more effective. It's all about just continuous doing, honing down. It's bettering your communication skills. How do I reach those messages? How do I present myself to this person? How do I show up in the world? Knowing how you want to be perceived as by that person, and then re-listening yourself after those sales calls. I'm like, well, this came from a scarcity perspective. This was a little asshole. Oh, here I'm not as confident as I can be. It's like you're molding. Again, in its circle, it always circles back. That's basically a framework that I use. It circles back on the awareness. Again, you choose the direction, how much better you want to be. Again, you become you continuously perfecting yourself to grow. Because for me, that's what at the end is just the best. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs I speak with, they say, at the end, it's not about the money, it's about the momentum and progress. If you feel progress, that's good. You feel happy. When you don't feel progress, when I wasn't getting any calls, when I wasn't getting any replies to my emails, I felt bad. It wasn't good. I was like, oh, nothing's working, I'm going backwards. But then now something's working, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that I'm getting closing one client a day, but I know that if I continue doing this, I'll figure out the exact method, exactly what to say, exactly who to approach. I just know there's no other way, because right now it's working. And if something changes, like yesterday, I had acceptance rate of my connect request 15% less. And I was like, okay, what did I do different? I reach out to different people, and okay, maybe I'll reach out to them for 3 more days to see if it's just a moon phase maybe, or if it's this, but if it's not working, I'm gonna go back. So that kind of a tracking. And yeah, I mean, it's that awareness of that path. It's that awareness of multiple, for me, multiple performance activators for yourself, and what not just honing on one thing, but really holistic focus on the direction, and so you're complete in your journey, and you really can move forward for a long amount of time. Because if you dig a hole, eventually you'll get to the gold. There's this meme, when a guy is shoveling for gold and he's 2 inches
diamond.
away. and one guy reaches it and the other one guy stops. And that is for everybody. Every entrepreneur I spoke with, he said, just continue on what you're doing. That's what I love entrepreneurs. That's why I love groups like this, is because everybody is your cheerleader. Like, yeah, man, do it. And that's some bullshit kind of a ultra spiritual, like, yeah, it's law of attraction and all that kind of stuff. It's just like very law of fucking action. If you're going to do action, you will figure out a way. If you came to Earth and you didn't know what this was, eventually you figure out, you'll start clicking around, you'll start doing it, and you'll figure out it's a pen and how to use it and how to write a poem. Then with anything, it's really comes down, it's so freakishly simple. With anything, we can figure it out. No one's better than anybody else. Like Steve Jobs said, when you realize that this world has been built by people no better than you and I, everything changes. And that's really the thing that I try to remember every single day. Like, what I have a right to request the world to be in any way I want. I shouldn't have an expectation or feel entitled for the world to be the way I want, but I have a full right to demand it and take action to build it.
Absolutely.
And every single day we can show up and build it and do those tiny micro steps, because everything escalates. I've reached out to a few people, my network expanded, reached out to a few more, found out the message, and from like no emails, boom, I right now, there's a ton of people to talk to, and it feels so richly good. It just feels
amazing.
Everything changes, everything. Your mindset, your happiness changes, how you show up on the call.
Beautiful. Guys, think about one thing also that G said about pressure, right? There's always a lot of pressure. I get it. No, we're not here to pretend to you that it's going to always be easy. It's not always going to be easy. There's work to be done and there's pressure that's going to happen. But you know what amazing thing happens when there's a lot of pressure on coal, right? What happens, guys? A diamond is created, right? Something so beautiful from pressure. Pressure that you have on yourself, whether it's family requirements or life requirements or business requirements, that pressure will push you to achieve things that you may not have ever thought were possible. G and I already have immense confidence. We already have an inherent belief in ourselves, and many people that watch may not feel that way. But the reality is when pressure is put on you, there's nothing else you can do other than succeed, right? There's no other choice you have. Failure is always the most readily available option because it's a choice. You can choose to fail or you can choose to succeed. Now, you might think what I'm saying is absolutely ridiculous, but let me tell you exactly why that's not the case. Anytime that you are put in a position to take action, if you take action, you should consider that a success, no matter the outcome. If you fail on something, if you believe that you did misstepped on something, the only way you fail is by speaking that into existence, by saying that I did not achieve what I wanted to.
The story that we create, it's just the story.
Brain. It's mental midgetry, like we're saying.
That's what we're saying. You always have to become aware of what is the true and what is not. What is the circumstance and what is the story? The circumstance is I've sent 200 emails, I didn't get response. Does that mean I'm a failure? No. I sent 200 emails, I didn't get response. If I send
change it, refine, optimize.
Yeah, and that is like becoming just like really centered in that, not putting yourself down. Because I know, like, and I'm just only saying because for all the brothers and sisters that are listening, because I know I've felt so bad and I felt like I'm miserable and I failed so many times, and I just like it's just a mental thing. It's nothing else. Like it's nothing else. It's just
Here's a couple ways to avoid the thought of failure. First of all, if you're someone that is inherently jealous or someone that tends to look over their shoulder at what someone else is doing, just delete newsfeed from Facebook. Just download Newsfeed Eradicator. If you know yourself so much that if you're looking at someone and you're not being inspired by their success, but jealous or frustrated because you didn't get there, that's okay. You know, you're not a bad person. Just delete newsfeed and move on. Stop focusing on someone else. Focus on
attention. Control of the attention is so important.
Exactly.
Because like, that's 100%. One of the things, I don't know if you caught, but my biggest challenge in the beginning was there was so much good content in POD that I was fucking distracted by which strategy to do. Like
paralysis by analysis. It's a real thing.
You've added that new section, quick wins. Like only that alone can you can hire a team of 10 people to hold it, to master it and really perfect it to go over the next few months. But if you're doing this alone, it's a lot of work and you have to understand it. Let's take one step at a time. And again, that comparison thing is so true that you said. And that's why I stopped actually, like before I would try to, engage in the groups and Facebook and all that. And I'm like, no, not.
It's my time.
More strategies. I don't care about any more strategies.
You don't need to. You got it in here. You've got it.
I'll do LinkedIn, and that's what I'll do. That's it for the next foreseeable future until I stop getting results and I have to figure out something else. Until there's no more people to reach, because my time is so limited. Just doing that alone, it takes me so much time. So I cannot have 200 other strategies. But it's fantastic to be in a program like Prospering on Demand, because you can find yourself, well, who is the best? Who is for my niche? Maybe that's better. Maybe if you go after body shops like you, Alex, that you won't find them on LinkedIn. For tech, it's perfect. For recruiters, it's perfect. And when I found that I can actually offer the LinkedIn automation services for other businesses, that for me was just like.
I was just talking to Paul Kimball about that, another POD member who's doing the same thing, and he's reaching out to recruiters and offering them the LinkedIn automation, and it's an amazing service. What the prospecting used to be is now a service. It's amazing. And to finish the failure thought, it's really important that you understand what mental midgetry is. Doubt is like poison, a small little drop, and you've put yourself in a worse position. G nor myself are pretending to you that we're always at the high level, we're always succeeding, we're always happy, we're always. Obviously, that's not the case. Sometimes I'm down on myself. Sometimes
for nobody. Listen.
Nobody, exactly. Even Tony Robbins
feels like shit, and
of course,
he does his own like a ceremony. Morning, a ritual to put himself back in a peak state.
Exactly. It's a human nature. It's human nature not to always be on the top level. But here's how you to break free from the despair. Couple things. One, biggest thing for me is never accept failure as something that you could say, I failed. Fuck that. You didn't fail at anything. You tried, you put your best out there, and whatever the outcome was, so be it. But more importantly than that is if you decide that you failed at something, you didn't learn anything. If you learn from something, there's no failure in learning. Learning is a key aspect of your life. Learning in everything is key. So it's either succeeding or learning. There is no failure, and speak that into your mind. Now, if you're someone that really, really struggles with consistently feeling down on yourself because maybe you haven't gotten a win in a little while, here's the biggest and most important thing I could tell you. And I think it's something that G and I spoke about on one of our masterminds a few weeks ago, where it was very inspirational. Him and I kind of really putting it out there, kind of helping the rest of the team in POD feel the fire that G and I feel. We have this fire inside of us that we want to spread to other people, inspire people, right? That's the idea. And what we spoke about was how grateful you need to be about certain things. I write in this journal every morning that I have over here. It's called the 5-Minute Journal. You could buy it online. It's a little expensive, but it's like $25. It's a good purchase. And basically what it forces you to do is say 3 things in the morning that you're grateful for. If you're sitting there and you're dissatisfied with your life or your business or your family or whatever it may be, I promise you, you can figure out 3 things that you're grateful for. And immediately your mindset shifts. Your process of thinking negatively is going to make a big difference. Go ahead.
Just one thing. I've tried to do this method and I've failed and learned one thing greatly from it. We're entrepreneurs. There's a lot of logical minds behind us, right? Especially for men. Women are more empathic, but for men, we're much more logic driven. And a lot of times, again, I'm like, okay, somebody said to be grateful. Okay, what am I grateful for? Okay, grateful, this. Oh, why am I not feeling better? Fuck, this shit doesn't work. Go up to the next one. Gratitude has been scientifically proven. But gratitude is not like boom, 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 3 clicks, I'm grateful for.
Oh, you got to think it. You got to live it. You got to be it.
And it's feel it. To really, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that this person told me to fuck off because I know now that I won't pursue this type of people anymore. I'm grateful that this new program that I've bought is just the same as the last one because I know now that I don't have to invest in any more programs and I have all the tools I need in order to proceed forward. Like go into like more of a deeper, even philosophical and like really understanding what's happening in your mind. Like literally, is this, for me, it's always like, is this thought that I'm thinking truth or not? and of course it comes from my, like, I'm not like super believer in God, but I believer in the creation and the universal energy. And for me, I always think that our emotions are the guiding point. And if the thought that we're feeling feels not good, it's just an indication that it's not true. You're a failure. Feels bad because it's not true, because you're not a failure. I'm unworthy. Feels not good because it's not true, because you're worthy. Your mere existence in this creation means you're worthy.
Amazing, no?
Doesn't fucking make any mistakes. And that's so simply. So that's, I just wanted to add to that gratitude thing, to keep it more
I think it's
on the emotional side rather than logical, you know?
And also not only gratitude just in business, because that's a very good method for breaking down your mindset for business, but also in life in general. As entrepreneurs, your life and business are very interconnected all the time, especially so if you work with a spouse or a loved one or a friend, which I do, right? So the thing that I always think about it, when I start getting down on business, I don't ever think about gratefulness in my business, because I know logically how grateful I am to have what I've got in business. What I do think about is outside of my business. If business was no longer a reality, what I have, is amazing. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my fridge. I have the money to go buy more food if necessary.
Hot wife.
I have a beautiful wife that cares about me, that loves me. I have friends that care about me and love me. I have a family that cares about me and loves me. I have a group of entrepreneurs that I haven't met in real life, but I can consider them family. If I reached out to G and I needed something, he'd help me. Just as much so if he reached out to me and needed me, I'd help him. That is something to be extremely grateful for. There's a lot of people in a much worse positions than you are. So you can't go out there and think, woe is me, woe is me. You're never going to move forward if you think that way. You always have to have the right attitude, and positivity is really key. I'm not pretending to you it's always easy. I'm not pretending to you it's going to be, roses and daisy all the time. There's going to be pressure, like G is saying, but what happens with pressure and coal? There's diamonds. There's opportunity. So take the opportunity, listen to what G and I are saying here today, and hopefully take action and grow with us. G, what do you want to leave everyone with here today? The closing message from yourself, my man.
Closing message. Let's see what comes. What's a download that comes? Just a reminder of what we've talked about, and just reminder that you are worthy and you can do it. Just take the action. Be aware of your strengths, choose the direction, grow resilient to that thing, get energy, love yourself and be grateful, and, focus on your own strength so you can pursue these things. And, just everything lies in action. If you continuously take action, that's why I stopped reading books. I was such a book nerd before, stopped reading books because it came time where you cannot learn anymore. You have to, you graduate from college to take action. So you graduate from your kind of programs, you go to actually take action. And everybody, there's so many people that want to help you. There's so many people that really will answer the questions. There's so many people that will support you. Don't feel entitled that somebody should by any means give you something for free or support you, but understand that there are a lot of people. And if you show up in the way where you emit the energy where you really want to help somebody, you will attract people in your life that want somebody. And this group that you're in, Prospecting Powerhouses, it's a fantastic group. It will set you apart and will allow you to scale much faster than anybody else. Prospecting on Demand, fantastic group, a lot of great people. Find somebody that resonates. Maybe you're more of a not as crazy as you and Alex personality. Maybe you can find a different coach, and maybe you'll find it's very important to work and be among people that you can be yourself.
Resonate with whoever you resonate with.
Whoever you resonate with. But all of us here can achieve anything we want, and it's not just the pseudo spiritual thing, but really it's the reality of the world we live in. We've never had so many opportunities, literally never. Turn off your news feed, turn off all the Trump and all the bullshit things that are happening, because Definitely. That is not true. That is their reality. That is not your reality. That don't accept anybody else's shit. and just keep on pursuing. Find the people, a group of people like these groups, engage with them, listen, join these calls more often if you need more spiritual support, I would say, where you want more engagement. Like what we're doing here with Alex, we're spending our precious time to give to you. Like we're pumped with energy and we want to broadcast this. We want to give it to you because it feels good for us knowing that maybe there's one or two or three or whatever the list.
Even if it's one fucking person, it's worth it.
We can help one single person. And even if Alex, maybe I can give some idea to Alex or Alex can give it to me. Like that's all that freaking matters. I love what Brendon Burchard shared yesterday in his video. He said, why am I here? Why have I sold millions of dollars worth of products, created multiple masterminds and helped thousands of people? Is because I showed up the same way, whether it was one person listening or 1 million.
Oh man, it's gorgeous. So true, because that's how we are.
And whether you're serving one client or whether you're on this, like, bring that authentic self and that willingness to help into all interactions, and you'll start nurturing that new, authentic, confident, resilient, powerful, influential being that lies behind all the other bullshit that is now. And when you start growing into that being, life becomes much more effortless. Business becomes much more effortless, more happier, more fulfilling, more contributing. And that's where we're all going. I think that's where we're all going. And it's beautiful to see that there's so many people in the world that are on the similar mindset. I cannot wait to see what will happen with us 10 years, how our companies will merge and join. Maybe we'll create some beautiful retreats together where we'll share this information as we go more affluent in more time and money. And it's a fantastic world we're creating.
Beautiful, G. I appreciate you so much for coming on here today. Everyone that's watching on POD, our powerhouses are on our POD page. We hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching on replay and you have any questions for us, feel free to shoot it in the comments.
Definitely.
Reach out to me online. And if you join in POD, you'll be with us. Or if you're already in POD, we'll see you on the next Thursday call. We really appreciate you guys. G, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.